Yo, 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 this is Make It Make Sense podcast channel, YouTube, inaugural. We getting these things kicking off this year. We're gonna end the year right. Um, so you see the caption. Listen, how the powers that be control the black family. Um, Listen, this is a subject that a lot of people been talking about now. We're gonna keep it quick because I'm going out to play some music tonight, but I wanted to give this breakdown. So, today I was out and about making some errands, and I was talking to I don't want to say older lady, but, um, you know, she could have been around my age, maybe a little bit older, Asian lady, business owner. And we were just talking about politics. And when I tell you that a lot of these communities who we think are against us are not. It's the media that's causing these divides a lot of times. Not saying that there's not some people that don't respect us, things of that nature. But at the end of the day, there are more intellectuals, non-blacks, that relate, or not necessarily relate, but understand what's going on with the black community. So we had a wonderful talk, and before I left the business, she said, you should start a YouTube channel. And I said, I got one. Just started it. I'm trying to get it going. And she immediately subscribed to my channel before even listening to anything I said. And this is just off a conversation we was having. So I'm gonna just kind of delve into the conversation we was having. She said that the saddest thing that she sees happening in America today is how the Democratic Party tries to control the black mind and black thought and the black experience. And she say it's so sickening because if we would just open our eyes and realize that a lot of other cultures look up to us, respect us, love what we do, follow for us, check for us. They might not admit it, but they do. She said the moment we realize that, the better off we'll be. And as soon as we get away from the Democratic Party and really democratic politics altogether, we'll be in a better place. So the conversation basically ended up in a realization of how they were able to control us. So I was explaining to her how in the 60s, 50s, 70s, when our men were at war, they used the nurturing nature of our mothers to control them. What do I mean by that? If you're a mother, your number one priority is making sure your kid is fed. And you will pretty much do anything out, within the realm of your morality to make sure that happens. That nurturing takes over. So when our men were at war and our ladies were at home taking care of children, they were able to give them welfare, food stamps, subsidies. And a lot of people think it was designed to help. And that could be further from the truth. It was designed to control us. They were replacing husbands that look like us with counselors and advocates and organizations and welfare workers who didn't look like us, who are allowed to come into our women's homes and kick men out, scrutinize, and we just don't realize the effects of that on us 50, 60 years later. We don't know. And what I'm telling you is, this is how they control the people. If you can control the womb, if you can control the nurturing spirit of a woman, you can control the people. How we know that is because the European has been the most diabolical person to their women ever. They used to hang their women from trees. That's where they get lynching from. We not the first people they lynched. Let's get this shit straight first. A lot of shit that they do to us, they practice on their own women as a control mechanism, which is why they women fall in line right now. The intellectual European woman falls right in line with the intellectual European man. Why? Because they've been beaten to submission. That's why they hate them so much. But they will never go against that. Never. So what I'm here to tell you in less than 10 minutes is, we need to wake up and realize that this shit is by design. Not saying that you have to have a victim mentality. Not saying that you have to run around blaming people and make excuses for why you piss poor. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, there's a reason. It's a reason for everything. And if you start to add up the cost of opportunities, because that's all the Democratic Party give you is opportunities. They don't never talk about opening up a John Deere factory for black folk. They'll never talk about opening up a Huntsvarna factory for black folk. They'll never talk about opening up a rice or toilet paper factory for black. They'll never talk about that. They want to give you hope, change, opportunity. That's what they want to give you. Why? Because the moment the black families start to stick together and we start having 13, 14, 15, 16 kids again, we can thwart inflation. See, that's how we made it through the 60s, 70s, the 50s, the 40s, the 30s. You know how we made it through them times? Through the Depression, when the European and these other cultures was failing in the Dust Bowl, when they couldn't feed their kids, because we was having 16 kids at a time. Now imagine what your house would look like if you had 9, 10 kids and they all could go to work. You don't give a fuck how much eggs cost. The price of milk don't matter to you. Big facts. I know that this might be tough for people to want to listen to, but it's big facts. So when we look at the birth rates, when we look at their birth rate right now, which is below 0, they got more old people than they do young people. Yeah. So I say that to say this. We need to get back to loving each other. We need to get back to having children and teaching them and keeping them in the home past 18. That's another one of the things we got suckered into. Kick your kid out by 18. Whoever raised their hand for that, that sounds stupid. Yeah, imagine what your household would look like if you had a house sitting on 5 acres, 2,000 square feet, and you got 9 people living in it going to work. Y'all don't give a shit if eggs cost $20 a carton. It won't matter to you. This is just basic economics. This is just basic, straightforward economics. How you defeat your enemy is by having children. I know people don't want to listen. I know they're like, Trey the Truth, you sound crazy right now. What are you talking about? How you defeat your enemy, whoever it is, whatever he look like. Because it ain't just European. We got Arab enemies, we got Asian enemies, we got black enemies. How you defeat your enemy is by having children, teaching them a skill, and not necessarily teaching them a skill because God gonna give them a skill, honing in their skill, making it productive, even if they make $2 a day. 2 times 10 is what? You can eat. So, that being said, let's get back to loving each other. Let's stop hating our enemy for doing what they have to do to keep themselves alive. Let's stop doing that, because that's why we ain't going nowhere. We spend too much energy hating them for doing shit that they got. They gotta oppress us to stay alive. Who's the winner in that? I know it may look like they winning. It may look like they got more than what you got, but they really don't, because all they got is you. That's just period. So the hatred is not necessary. For what? Love is the key. Love is the key. That's how you defeat your enemy. That's how you force them to come out of the corners and acknowledge you. Love. And how do you show love? Have children. Yep. Walk by with 5 babies and look at they 2. And be like, yep, we winning today. Yep, we don't care if eggs cost $50 a carton. We got enough. We good. We gonna win. Period. So the victim mentality need to stop. The hatred need to stop. The looking up to people who look down at you need to stop. You need to look up to yourself. That's what you need to do. Because hating other people, envying other people, wishing they would treat you better is not serving you right. It's not even logical. Make it make sense.